I think the one thing that a lot of American citizens, and this I think is across party lines, are sick and tired of is us being brought into these conflicts because we are the nation that does stand for liberty and freedom and peace, and we get into these conflicts and we are spending national treasure on these conflicts, and there's no ability for us to recoup the money that was sent out the door. This deal about rare earth and other critical minerals, which Ukraine does have, is something that should be honored by the Ukrainians. You actually find on Capitol Hill, there's a lot of support for that kind of a situation, so we can repay the Treasury for
so
money.
are we to look at this as Donald Trump's negotiating style, as kind of throwing out these really brash and hard comments to try to get Zelensky back in line?
That's how I look at it. I mean, look, and if you've watched Donald Trump or covered Donald Trump, you understand that when it's time to make a deal, everybody's going to have to give something up. It's not just going to be a free pass for everybody, especially in a conflict like this. And look, the fact is, Vladimir Zelensky, he's trying to sable rattle as well and trying to step away from a deal to help the United States taxpayer be made whole after this entire situation. And so Donald Trump's not going to stand for it. And this is also a message to the entire world. And this is allies and enemies. We are not going to put your foreign policy ahead of our own. America's foreign policy and America's interests are going to be first, and they're going to be second. And we can do business and we can be friends, but don't think that you're going to take advantage of us.
Okay, fair enough. There was a point, though, that I think we all agreed, you agreed, that defending Ukraine and, more importantly, not giving Vladimir Putin a win in any way was in America's best interest. Here's a couple clips from you over the past 2 years. Take a listen.
The Russian military and the Russian government, they're not our friends. They are adversaries to us on the global stage. Nobody wants to see Putin take the country. We're not prepared to let Vladimir Putin win anything. Looking at the world right now, we are on the precipice, frankly, of World War III in a lot of cases. Russia is heavily involved in Ukraine.
We're not prepared to let Vladimir Putin win anything. The Russian military and government are not our friends. So why is Donald Trump effectively parroting what they're saying to push the people that Vladimir Putin's trying to kill?
First of all, thanks for playing some of my greatest hits. It was actually good to look at some of those. Secondly, I would say you
don't look a year older. You don't look a year older, I promise. No.
It's a black thing, but we'll move on. Look, here's the deal. He's not parroting anything that Vladimir Putin has said. That's not the case at all. But there has to be a legitimate deal for the United States as this conflict comes to a close. And rest assured, Donald Trump wants to bring this conflict to a close. And if you look at this just with clear eyes and not trying to pick sides, if you think that Ukraine is going to get everything they want out of this conflict, that's simply not the case. That was
totally
never
agree.
going to happen.
No, totally agree. Totally agree. We did the segment last night. We said it's important that the war ends. Number one. Number two, it matters how it ends. And number three, the idea that Ukraine's going to get all their territory back is laughable. And we put the map up and showed everybody that. But words matter. And you said Donald Trump isn't parroting Putin's talking points. And that's where I have to question you, because he is. Because Putin is the one who says over and over again, this was Ukraine starting the war. Over and over again, Zelensky is a legitimate leader of Ukraine. Those are exactly the same things that Vladimir Putin says that Donald Trump is saying. How does that not weaken our ally, who you've said over and over again needs to be protected?
No, it doesn't weaken them. What we're trying to do right now is get the necessary conditions to bring this conflict to an end. And I want to be clear on that. Second thing is, I think part of the reason that Vladimir Zelensky was upset is because he didn't have a seat at the table in these initial conversations.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If they had an ability to negotiate an end to the conflict, they would have done that already without our assistance. They haven't been able to do that. So Donald Trump is going to do whatever he thinks is best in order to bring this conflict to a close. This is one of the reasons he was elected to be president of the United States, because we saw what was happening the other way when we were just sending billions and billions of dollars over to Ukraine. There was no end in sight. The American people don't have patience for that. President Trump doesn't have any patience for that. And so the process to ending this conflict is going to be a little bumpy, but the conflict must end.
Well said. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.